Okay, hi everyone, Vickie here. We're going to take a look at the, this is the new moon in Libra, October 19th, 2017. It's going to be at 3:12 p.m. Eastern, times will vary. Big stellium in Libra. Here's the new moon, 26 degrees of Libra. Big stellium, we've got Venus, Vesta, Moon, Mars. It's even conjunct Jupiter, even though Jupiter has moved into Scorpio. I say that's still a pretty much a conjunction, but it's opposed Uranus. The thing, though, that when I opened this chart, what I saw right away was the Chiron. It was just like whoosh. You know, this Chiron energy just pulled me right down. And I'm not going to say whatever that thing is. I actually went back to my old. I tried to look it up online, but it was confusing. If you are learning astrology, this is an old book. What year was this? I've had this book for long time. There's a whole series, but this is the only one that I actually bought and kept. It came out in '76 and then revised in '81. Marion D. March and Joe McEvers. Actually, I'll probably put a link to it on my well, I don't know if I will or not. I'll probably forget. But this is a great series, and this is volume 1, and it just has everything in it. But this has the aspects, and this is called inconjunct or quincunx, both meaning the same thing, and it gives diagrams. You know, this book just covers everything. I mean, here it is, whatever, how many years later, 30 years later, and I still have it on my bookshelf, and I still pulled it out to look something up. So hopefully by the next time I'm noticing one of these things, I'll remember again. It's called an inconjunct or a quincunx, but it's the adjustment aspect. It's like over one sign, you know. So this is what really pulled me in, stronger than even all this Libra stellium. This, you know, and this is a intuitive reading, a psychic reading. This isn't just an astrology reading. So I kind of go with those vibes and where they pull me and stuff. So it's this Chiron and Pisces thing. I think that with a lot of this energy that's been going on, it was in Virgo, but then we also have a lot of stuff going on, Pluto and Saturn, you know, over these past weeks and months, that people can really get, I would say even over the past year, even starting with the election, you know, back in November in America, you know, people can get really, really, screw you, you know, no, I believe this and I don't want to change and you should change. And well, that's another thing about the 7th house too. The 7th house is the other. It's the mirror. It's Libra, it's the mirror. It's what are we mirroring back to ourselves. First house is Aries, or first house is ourselves. The 7th house is partnerships and the other. And it's a big mirror. So with Chiron going retrograde here, and it is an inconjunct or quincunx. I almost forgot it again already. To where the new moon is. It's like going back over these things, these big deep wounds. And again, I've talked about this before, but just quickly, you know, with Pisces, this is going on for generations, for centuries, through many lifetimes, through eons, through soul groups, through patterns on Earth. It's not just something that's happening this past year. This is finishing off, healing the wounds caused by our ancestors, by our society's rules and things as we evolve, you know, the hurts and wrongs. And it's looking at this, the other. I have these little insights that I'm putting up on, and sometimes they come up in here. I'll probably put it up as an insight too, but it's coming to mind now. This is something I've been thinking about for a long time. Begrudging people because they have what you want. That's, you know, that's so counterproductive and so counter to getting what you want. You know, I've done it in the past. Everybody's done it to some extent. Well, why should they get it and not me? Well, first, you're coming from a place of lack, and then secondly, you're throwing hatred on something that you want to attract to yourself. So, or you're throwing anger or resentment on something that you want, therefore pushing it away, further pushing it away energetically. But the 7th house is all about the partnership, but it's what we reflect back to ourselves. And these reflections are going to be strong, even though Jupiter has moved on into Scorpio. Well, you know, with Jupiter moving into Scorpio, relating it to this, and the fact that it's still early degrees of Scorpio and conjunct this new moon, therefore almost still tied into the Libra vibe somewhat, you know, the deeper, darker part of it all. Libra, everything's not Susie Sunshine. Everything's not, you know, oh, it's love and light and we'll forgive. Oh, we'll forgive and forget. But really there's these deep wounds that are festering, this deep pain that we haven't really looked at, that we haven't fully healed, that hasn't fully, you know, come out. And it's, you know, this Chiron's still squaring the Saturn and the Lilith. I want to get into that. But, you know, it's in conjunct this, so there's adjustments. Before we can go to this happy Libra place, I think there's still some things over here that we have to dive into here. There's always more, there's always more. In the Pisces, too, it might be coming through dreams and sleep. I've been having a lot of dreams. I mentioned that in one of the other videos. Vivid dreams lately. Wanting to sleep a lot. And sleeping a lot, straight through, you know. And then even if I get up to go pee, I just fall right out again, you know. It's not like I can't go back to sleep. It's just like, boom. I can barely make it back to the bed and then just out, you know. So deep sleeping, but I think healing is going on in this. But okay, so this moon is the Uranus, so we can be set free. Uranus wants to be free. Uranus is the ruler of the 11th house, and it wants all to be created equal, for us all to be on equal playing ground. And Libra wants that too. You know, equality, balance, things in balance, the scales to be in balance. So, yeah, we're striving forward to this forward thinking, to this freedom, and everybody's alike, everybody's the same, but there's these deep ingrained things. And it's not even about people being different, it's about everything. Yeah, I had another big realization this week too. Because I have issue, I'm a totally, like, you know, it's been pointed out in the comments, and if you watch my videos, you know, I am a total liberal, and I am a total lefty there, but, you know, it does, I live in an area where a lot of people don't work, you know. I'm working even though I'm not going to a job every day. And, you know, they seem to be living a pretty nice life, and I'm finding out that they've gotten, you know, like for 3 people, you get about $30,000 a year tax-free, plus free medical, so tack on another 12 grand for that, and no tax, you know, it's just like, wow. And, you know, I'm busting my ass to pay taxes, and I start getting pissed, and it's just like, and I had this big realization about this thing. I've applied this thing to many other things in my life with success, you know, begrudging people who are successful. It's just going way back. But it's just like I realized, you know, I'm begrudging them. I'm pissed at them because they have security and abundance without having to put forth any effort toward it, you know. And that's what I want. That's what everybody wants. That's what everybody should have, you know. And, you know, this work ethic, you know, well, I have to work and I work hard. Well, it must be nice that you don't have to work, you know. But that's what I was raised with, you know, the working class background, you know, we work hard, you know, and there's something really noble and something really honorable about toil. And that's the Virgo energy we're coming out of. And maybe there's not. Well, not that I should have to pay your way, you know, that pisses, I think that's the deeper part of it. And I am a liberal, and I do believe people should be provided for, and when my kids were little, I was on WIC, you know, I've gotten assistance. And I had medical for them, too, at different points, whatever that is, for the kids' medical. So I have taken advantage of social services, you know, in my life. I have. But it was never a permanent situation, and back then you weren't getting that much money, you know. If somebody's on disability, they were getting, and disability, that's another thing. Disability is disability, and somebody who's truly disabled is definitely deserving of it. But it's a big scam. It really is a big scam, and I've told people, when my parents had the bar, you know, that was like you hit the lottery, you know. Oh, I got my disability settlement, yeehaw. And most of it was bullshit, I would say, and they would talk to each other openly about it. Yeah, well, say you have this because there's no way to check it. If you've ever watched that show Shameless on TV, I love that show, because, not because I want to go back to that vibration, but it totally reminds me of my parents' bar when I was growing up, the whole scene. And I'm out of it. I can look at it and laugh about it, you know. I think they said that on that show, and it's a true thing. I mean, and it's all across all racial divides. It's a poverty thing, and so these people, when you get disability, you get quite a bit more. You know, if you have a disabled person who's on disability with a couple kids, that's who's making like 30 grand plus free medical and stuff. It's like, wow. And I know many people are, you know, disabled and totally need it, and that's, you know, that's cool, but it's a scam that's getting played, and if you think that that's a lie or that's not. I mean, I've witnessed that firsthand. Talk. Well, here's what you got to do. You got to get the lawyer, and then yeah, he takes a third, but you get your big settlement, you know, and you know, it's a whole scam going on, you know, that people pull, and you know. For 90% of the time, it doesn't bother me. It's just like live and let live. But then there's times when it gets, you know, it gets to me, you know, and it's just like, wow, you know, but I had this realization, you know, it's just like, so they have steady stream of income, unlimited abundance. They know they have financial stability, and they don't have to stress or work or worry about it. And why are you begrudging them that? Yeah, the reasons, there's, you know, maybe that's something in government we need to address, you know. We definitely need to address, but I'm way off the topic. But that's just stuff that's been kind of coming up with me. I've been having these realizations about the other. You know, what was the other one? I had a few. I think I wrote them down in the other room, because I was going to do those little insight things. The one about the other thing, about, there's more to it. I don't want to go into it in this reading, because I am going to do a little video about it. About begrudging somebody who has what you want, and how different things I've done over the years, mostly early on, you know, when I was growing up. Because of Saturn, you know, these are the things that we've ingrained in, especially in America. That's the American way. Well, and in Asia too, a lot of countries, you know, work hard. You gotta work hard. Hard work, you know, blah, 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 blah. So, this is kind of getting all busted open, you know, and, I think this hard work thing, there's also a good bit of resentment that just is ingrained in that, you know. Just like, yeah, I work hard, I work hard for my buddy, you know. It's just this like, I have a right to be righteous and angry and bitchy, and, you know, that gives me to, you know, entitles me to behave in a way. I don't know. I'm not really nailing it down what I'm trying to say, but there's this, you know, I'm not verbalizing it well, but there's this that's got to, you got to lose it. If you truly want to be whatever you want to be, whatever you think the other is holding you back from being, you know, you just got to lose that, you know. Whatever you're so insistent and adamant about and pointing the finger at and like, it's your fault, you did it, they ruined me, they wrecked me. Emotional, partner love, Venus is love, 7th house is relationships. Well, my ex, he messed me up for life, he ruined me, you know, the reason I'm a mess is because that guy, he messed me up, he's the asshole, you know, he was this, he was that, he was this, you know, she, whoever, they, the ominous they of the 7th house, right? They're the ones, those ones over there, whoever, you know. Get over that, because that's how you'll get your true freedom. Uranus and Aries, what we're all seeking. We want to be released from this heavy, burdensome Chiron and you know, all this stuff. Yeah, Lilith on the galactic center, and the galactic center is kind of my little pet thing that I like to focus on. I have like some affinity to it, you know. I haven't really gotten a lot of vibes about that, you know, but something's going on, right? Well, you know, Lilith was a strong woman, but she also was a victim too, you know. And she stood in her righteousness. She was unwilling to compromise, you know. She stood in her righteousness. she stood her ground whether they were killing her children and doing everything else, and she was like, no, no, no. Because Libra in the 7th house is also about compromise. You know, there has to be compromise. There has to be compromise. You can't. I'm just getting like this righteousness. Maybe this is just some stuff that I'm working on releasing. Although I try not to be that way, but this is the vibe that I get out of this. This, you know, holier than thou, getting on your soapbox. I know everything. Kind of screaming it from the mountaintops. I know everything, you know. And Sag is you know nothing, Jon Snow. You know, Sag is that. Sag is always learning more. Always learning more. Always. It's not fixed. It's open to. And you put these two together with the Jupiter going into the Scorpio too. Get down into that real truth, and then a new knowledge and enlightenment is uncovered. And then when you learn this, then you learn this and this and this and this. You know, you start, if you start with a ooh, there's something crawling at me. I don't know if it was a spider or what. Something was tickled my leg there. Alright, whatever it is gone. You know, you start with this small frame of reference, okay? Aries, and you know, fixed, and you know, this is Mercury, you know, these lower houses, this is my frame of reference. And then as you go through and you learn more, so you learn a little more, and then you know, on that you learn a little more and a little more and a little more and a little more, and you know, your range of knowledge is expanding, but your range of possibilities is expanding. You're back to you're not fighting over crumbs, you know. So if we truly live in an abundant universe, and you have to pay 8th house taxes to support somebody who's not disabled and just pulling, you know, scamming the government, which I don't want to get a lot of comments. I know there's people that really are, but I mean, I've witnessed this firsthand. This is no lie. People would sit in my parents' bar and just talk about it and coach each other on it, on how to do it, you know. This was all when, how this happened too, is when Clintons in America cut down on welfare. So you weren't going to be able to get welfare for life anymore. I don't know exactly what the changes were, but that was a big change up on that. And it restricted those benefits. So then it was like, well, what are we going to do? So then they all started, well, here, at first you were able to get disability for being an alcoholic. That's what a lot of the people in my parents' bar did. They would go, because that was like a big raise. You got a lot more money on disability than you did on welfare. And then, you know, but then there's like, well, say you have this, or say I remember this one girl saying, well, say you have fibromyalgia because there's no way to prove it, you know. And that was even on Shameless. I was watching it. It was just like, what did he say? He goes, it was Frank. He's like, say you have this, and you know, it's a big joke, but it's a true thing. I'm telling you, it's a true thing. And so there are plenty of people who deserve it and need it, and of course they should be taken care of, you know. But there's got to be a way that we can do something else, you know. I think welfare might have been a better idea, because on welfare you just barely had enough to get by, so you had incentive to go get a job, you know, and get off of welfare. It was incentive because you couldn't really make it on welfare, you know. You could, you know. So, but people are making it just fine on disability, you know, buying houses, you know, nice cars, and don't work for it, you know. But I digress. I have to get off of that. I forgot why I brought it up again. It's so prevalent around here. You know, it's just so prevalent. Yeah. So it's just something that's in my face all the time, and I see it all the time. And I guess I have some resentment about it. Obviously, if I'm talking about it in the astrology reading, I need to move on, right? But anyways, so Chiron, we're going to heal that. But this Saturn, like, so righteous, like, why should you have a nice life, and I have to work? And that I'm being really extreme. That's not like my exact words, you know. But that would be like somebody who's real, you know, in that zone over there. these staunch beliefs that we have. The blame, you know, blaming the other person, it's all their fault. And giving your power away at any level like that, because ultimately what that is, when you're blaming, is you're giving your power away. So that means you don't have the power to fix it. You don't have the free reign of Uranus and Aries to do what you want because of this other person holding you back somehow. And it doesn't even have to be a person. You know, this institution, this whatever. You know, I was bitching about YouTube. And they're demonetizing videos now too. So it is, the YouTube thing is getting to be a big crunch. But that's okay, you know, it's just like, let it go. If we live in an abundant universe, focusing on our perceived, oh sorry, I kicked the thing, I think. Our perceived blockages, these perceived things that are out there, the other, that's blocking us from what we want to do, is just keeping us stuck. It's just keeping us stuck where we're at. Because they better go, I want them to go get a job. Well, guess what? They ain't going to go get a freaking job. You know, get over it. Get over it. They are fine the way they are. Oh, it's a hair. I thought it was, I don't know if you can see it. I thought it was a bug. It's a hair in my nose. They're not going to get a job. And they don't care that you think that they should get a job. They're living their life and they're perfectly happy. And you know, you need to stop that. You need to, with this Chiron, the adjustment is you got to go back and look at your own emotional stuff. Like I said, I came from a working class family, you know, where that was considered, you know, there was another one of these about money. You know, this came to me too. I'm probably going to put these out in these little videos too. This came to me a while ago, but you know, somebody would say, well, money's no object. Oh, money's no object. Who do they think they are? Oh, well, excuse me, money's no object. Mr. Money is no object, but money is no object. Money is, in today's world, pretty much isn't, you know. It's digital stuff, you know, it's all digitized. So, and being appalled by that statement, oh, money's no object. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, money's no object. Cool. You know, embrace that. Embrace what you want instead of being, and not to say I want to go get free disability from the government, you know, because when I'm not disabled. But yeah, I want a nice stream of income that I don't have to work hard and toil over and, you know, worry about, you know, that I know that I'm going to make a certain amount. I can rely, a reliable, steady income. You say, yeah, I want that. Doesn't anybody? You know, and even if you work like a 9 to 5, you don't know. Your company could close tomorrow. Your job could be gone tomorrow. You know, there's always this, you know, not knowing or having this, you know, and it comes down to like fear and lack too, you know. And you got to go to that higher place. Oh, we were going to talk about this. Yeah, they keep wanting me to go back to so Lilith. Lilith wouldn't back down at any cost, you know. She wouldn't compromise. How, with the alignment with the galactic center, I always feel like it's this we start getting downloads on these types of things. So, how could she have compromised? You know, the mythology behind Lilith, she was the first wife of Adam. She didn't want to be subservient to him. She refused to be subservient to him. And they did all these horrible things. So I don't remember it was the whole thing. You might want to read it if you want. But I don't know. They banished her, and I know they killed her children and all this stuff. They cursed her for all your children will be cursed for whatever. And they just did all of it. And she still was just, you know, screw you. She wouldn't bend. She was strong-willed. So Lilith being in Sag is shaking that stuff off, you know. It is open to enlightenment. Aligned. I think it's no accident that the galactic center is in Sagittarius. You know, it's this point of enlightenment. It's this point of download. It's this point of expansion. This is a release. This is an opportunity, and if this stuff, you know, keeps coming up, whatever it is, oh, why don't you get a job, or oh, it must be nice not to have to work, oh, my exes and screwed me up for life, or my parents screwed me up for life, whoever, blah, blah, blah. If this stuff keeps coming up, then it's because, you know, there's obviously some unresolved stuff going on there. You know, maybe there's some unresolved stuff going on, right? So, you know, maybe it's time to, you know, kind of give that one more look over. Maybe you'll get some enlightenment and some downloads through this Lilith, Chiron energy. You know, I feel that you totally can. And it's almost like, when I'm looking at this, isn't this cool? Because it's almost like, you know, like a beam coming down to Lilith. And even the way this line is drawn, they just do that so because they can fit them in. It's really saying that the degree is actually here. That's why that little line is there. But it's moved over. But the way that that looks, to me, it's like Saturn's just stepping back. Just let me step back here. And just, in a way, kind of like fearful, or like, whoa, this is too much for me. This is too much, too much to handle. But also, well, in one end of the coin, and then the other end of the coin. Like, this is the two types of the male energy. This first type that I was talking about, stepping back, is he's just in awe of her awesomeness. He's just in awe of her expansion and her light and all that she's, you know, pulling. And he's just like, wow, you freaking rock, girl. You know, he's just standing back, like, in awe. And then there's the other type of male energy that wants to control that and dim that and squash that and push it down, which is somewhat of the traditional role of Saturn. But in this stepping back thing, I think he's like afraid. You know, he's just like, whoa, you know, and when anyone, or this type of energy that would try to suppress, even not even the feminine, whatever, whoever, it is because of you're afraid of them. Come on, get real. That's what it is. There's fear. It's always fear. You know, there's fear of that they're going to, you know, you have to hold them back because they might surpass you or something. But in this case, when I was seeing that light, it was almost just like, you know, blowing, knocking him away, and not in a pushing, screw you way, in a like, I'm so expanded, I'm so full of light that it knocks you back, you know. So I think it's pretty cool. But there's no, you know, there's no all good to anything, you know. There's no all good to anything, you know. There's, you know, there's more to be done. The more you know, as your knowledge base expands, the more questions you have, the more things you're aware of, the more things you're able to comprehend and put into the mix and add to the, you know, the pieces of the puzzle. But then only to spring a new puzzle, right? More puzzles, you know. So we live in an expanding universe, and the galactic center is the very center of the whole thing. So, yeah. Well, the other thing I wanted to mention, talking about this Lilith, it's trine Uranus. It's activating. Oops, let me turn this off. Sorry. This new moon. It's at 26 degrees. It's activating the grand trine of fire again, which involves Saturn and Lilith, Uranus and Aries, up here in Sag, Uranus and Aries, and the North Node in Leo. So that's getting really activated again by this spot, you know. So, you know, the grand trine of fire is a time of action, do something. You know, we could talk about it till we're blue in the face, you know, and we can try to fight it, you know. Well, let's ignite something positive. Let's do, make things move forward, connected through divine higher forces, for sure. Because the Chiron and the Pisces is divine higher forces. The Saturn on the, Lilith on the galactic center is divine higher forces. So yeah, let's activate it. Uranus and Aries, it's got to be new. It can't be a regurgitation of the same old stuff wrapped up in a bow for something new, you know. It's got to be for real new, you know. Leo, you know, there's it's not all work. There's time for play, you know. Time for play, time for happiness, time for joy, time to be childlike, you know. Time to be, make time for entertainment, for fun. You know, with all that stuff in Virgo, it's kind of like work yourself to the bone. Now that that's moved on, this is opening up for more fun, more levity, more lightheartedness. Definitely, you know, change in the vibration. Okay, I'm sorry I went off on that thing. I don't know why that came up. It's obviously bothering me more than I know. But I just had that, you know, that realization. It's like I'm begrudged. I'm angry because they have solid, steady income, solid, steady health care, and they don't have to worry about money, and they can enjoy their life, and I'm angry about them. I'm angry about that. Well, it's more to it than that. I'm angry about that because they're always screaming and yelling and raising hell all the time and disturbing my peace while I'm trying to work. But that's another story. But you know, but why am I angry about that? I shouldn't be angry about that because that's what we all should have and want and everything. Okay, enough about that. We're closing the book on that. Book is closed. Don't forget, if you are learning astrology, I'm not getting any money off of this learn astrology thing, but you know, here it is, like I said, 30 years later, and I still picked it up today to figure out that aspect. If you want to check out anything about me, go to the website. The latest thing is the t-shirts, you know, and if you want to find that, it's under art, and the tabs will take you to the t-shirt page, which will take you here. And so, you know, I have all 12 zodiacs up finally, one for each sign. I'm going to do the mandala zodiacs and everything. It takes a while. It's, you know, it's a slow process to get approved and upload the shirts. A few that might be, this is one of the astrologers have stars in their eyes, available in different colors. What's your sign with all the astrology glyphs. And then I like this one. Astrologers have the stars in their eyes with the big eye and the stars and the wheel. This is one of my favorites. It's not selling as good as the other, this one, but you know, or there's a whole bunch of other cool stuff there too. If you have a notion, oops, wait a minute here, let me get back to the chart. If you have a notion and you want to help support the videos that I do, the free readings and stuff, pick one up for you or a friend. Holidays are coming up, you know, good present, cute present for somebody. But here it is, new moon in Libra. I mean, yeah, Libra's all love and balance and harmony, but I think with these aspects, it's more about looking at the other, you know. It's more about the mirror of things that we try to control or think that control us in some way when they don't really have to, you know, they don't really have to. And I think it's an opportunity to relinquish, to download some good, different kind of energy, learn more, go to a higher level and relinquish some of our need to be right, or our need to be our righteousness, okay? Because ninth house is religion, and extreme as the extreme points of religion is on this righteous stuff, you know, that only my people will get into heaven and your people burn in hell. You know, we get to these extremes. And I notice I said my people, because it's all religions have some, not many religions have some kind of thing like that, that only our religion is right. I'm the one who knows the right religion, and you should follow. You should live your life like I do, you know. Nobody has to live their life like you do. Nobody has to. It's totally their prerogative. Anything your ex did, or your neighborhood, or anything that you think that is somebody else's fault, you better think about that a little. Well, you can think that all you want, but what it's happening is you're being stuck. It's sticking you in that point, and you're not going to expand your knowledge. And there's a whole universe out there. There's this expanding space. There's so much more to learn, so much more to experience and grow. You know, we don't want to get stuck in this little spot here. you know, shouldn't. I don't want to. And I'm working on it all the time. But anyways, so happy new moon, everybody. Check out my site. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, donating. The year heads will be coming up pretty soon. I'll start offering those. I'll make the announcement probably with the tarot readings later this month. It's once a year I offer for a couple months. It'll be the year heads for 2018. I'll let you know. It's going to be maybe late October, early November, the latest. I'll start offering those. So I'll post it in the tarot readings if you don't watch those. You know, whatever. You might want to if you're interested, or check back at my site. Anyways, time to roll. Thanks so much for liking, sharing, commenting, donating, everything you do to help me along with the channel, and keep these free readings coming, because I do like, especially these, I like doing the astrology ones much more than I like doing those monthly tarots. But there it is, new moon in Libra. Take a look at yourself. Don't get stuck. Okay, bye everyone.